I'm Jeff Matlow. Welcome to the best leadership podcast ever. Welcome back to the best leadership podcast ever, where every week we rethink your daily behaviors to help you catapult your career, my friend. My name's Jeff Matlow. I'm a leadership coach. I help female execs and entrepreneurs overcome their self-doubt and become leaders that people want to follow. And that's enough about me, because today I want to talk about ineffective teams. You see, as an executive coach and a facilitator for leadership offsites, yes, it's a thing. I do it a lot. And I see my fair share of ineffective teams throughout the whole thing. In fact, one of the main reasons that people hire me is to help kind of realign and reignite their ineffective teams. But there's a problem. The problem is that not all leaders recognize why their team is ineffective. To understand what I mean, you first have to understand what an ineffective team looks like. And there's actually 6 symptoms of an ineffective team. The 6 symptoms are 1, decreasing productivity, 2, stagnant growth, 3, low morale, 4, little innovation, 5, a degrading culture, and 6, lack of respect for leadership. So let me ask you, do you experience any of those at your company? Because if you're experiencing even just one of those 6 symptoms, you need to keep listening, because there's a catch. But it starts with a story. So let's imagine you're in the kitchen and you're making some guacamole. While you're trying to get that darn pit out of the avocado, the knife slips through the avocado skin and goes right into your hand. Naturally, you wrap your hand in a towel to stop the bleeding and you go to the hospital. When the doctor sees you, he asks how bad the pain is, and you tell him you're in a lot of pain. Now, imagine the doctor just gives you some Advil and sends you home. He's completely ignoring the problem, right? Sure, Advil's going to address the pain, but pain is just the symptom. Your hand is still bleeding like an angry geyser. So now that I've got that image of spouting blood in your mind, let me take this back to the ineffective team conversations. When I ask leaders what they think their biggest problems are, they usually just rattle off a few of the 6 symptoms of ineffective teams that I talked about earlier. They'll say something like, "We're not growing like we used to," or "My team can't get anything done without my help," or there's my all-time fave, "People don't listen to what I tell them to do, they just do whatever they want." See, the reason leaders have a tough time fixing their ineffective teams is because, like the doctor, they're focusing on solving the symptoms and not the blood-gushing problem. So let me be crystal clear on this one. The primary problem with ineffective teams is a lack of accountability. You may think I'm crazy. I get it. You may think that your team's lack of accountability isn't the problem. You may think that the slowdown in your company's growth is a completely different issue. Well, you're wrong. You see, lack of accountability is what leads to the 6 symptoms, and the 6 symptoms are the sign of an ineffective team. And I have proof. My proof is all the companies, from entrepreneurial to Fortune 500s, that were experiencing 6 symptom issues and hired me to help them grow or to fix their culture. I came in, I implemented the 4 secrets of accountability, and kaboom, things dramatically turned around. Now, what are the 4 secrets of accountability, I'm sure you're asking? I'm glad you asked. We'll get there in a second. First, let me talk about the misconception about accountability. You see, many people cringe when they hear the word accountability. And if you cringe at the idea of accountability, you're doing it all wrong. So people believe that accountability includes things like scolding or yelling or forcing people to do things they don't want to do, or maybe light to moderate torture. What I'm telling you is that if your accountability process includes any of those things, you're doing it all wrong and you potentially could be jailed for it. Plus, you're clearly not following the 4 secrets of accountability. You see, your team members actually want to be held accountable, especially if you have an effective team that's experiencing any of those 6 symptoms. In fact, according to the workforce specialist Ann Lohr, 85% of employees say they want to be held more accountable. But here's the problem. 85% of leaders are bad at accountability. 85%. That's insane. Lack of team accountability is the single most prominent issue in leadership development. Learning how to effectively maintain team accountability is critical for the success of your business, your employees, and even your career. It's true. In fact, there are 4 big benefits of holding your team accountable. There are accelerated growth, more effective problem solving, increased loyalty, and improved communication. All those are awesome. All those are what every leader wants to do and what they want to achieve. But that's not everything, because there's actually 4 benefits to you personally when you hold others accountable. The 4 benefits for you personally are increased confidence, so take that imposter syndrome and you can throw it out the window. Improved productivity, greater respect from your colleagues, and more recognition from others. In other words, you may get promoted. So now what if I tell you that you can achieve all of this in less than 1 hour? Sounds almost too good to be true, right? Well, believe it or not, it gets better. Because if you're ready to transform your team into a more inspired, more accountable unit, and if you're ready to catapult your career trajectory, you actually have 2 choices. Choice number 1 is hire me for thousands of dollars to guide you and your team through the 4 secrets of accountability. Choice number 2 is join my class and learn it all in less than 60 minutes. Sure, I love the money that companies pay me to teach them the 4 secrets, but what's more important is you and your career. And that's why I'm offering the entire course to level up your team accountability for only $97. It's true. I put this at a price point that every leader could afford. If you can't afford it, let me know. I got you. What's most important is that you take this course on team accountability. I guarantee it'll transform your career. And the big question isn't, can you afford to spend the hour to take the course? The big question is, can you afford not to? Jump online at buytitleonly.com/courses, and you can see what other people are saying about it, and you'll realize it is worth an hour of your time. Thanks for listening to this. I hope to talk to you soon. If you like it, give us 5 stars. My name's Jeff Matlow. This is the Best Leadership Podcast ever. I'll talk to you next time.